The Australian women's cricket team are in seventh heaven. The reason I say that is because they were crowned seven-time champions after their blitz performance against England at Christchurch. And we have, of course, Veda Krishnamurthy to tell us a lot more about this match. Your first thoughts, first and foremost, before we go into all the nitty-gritties, Veda. How brilliant is this Australian women's cricket team?
They are absolutely amazing. I feel each one of them are match winners, and on their particular day, they just take the team home. And like I told you earlier, it's one of the teams which is very difficult to beat because you don't have to worry about one or two players failing. They kind of back it up performance wise. Someone or the other just comes in and steps in and performs, and the way they go about their business is absolutely amazing to watch. And they're in their prime as a team. In the last 30-35 games, they've just lost two games, so it kind of speaks that the era of Australian domination, I feel.
Yeah, it's almost likened to that Steve Waugh team or the Ricky Ponting team of the early 2000s, but just brilliant to see Meg Lanning and her team go about their business. Right, we're going to do something fun today because, look, the Cricket World Cup 2022 was an expensive, spectacular festival of cricket. And I want to ask you about your best 11 who can beat these Aussies on their given day. So let's ask you, Veda, first and foremost, for your team, read out your team sheet before we go further, please.
Well, uh, the squad I've tried to put across, I've tried my level best with how they've gone in the World Cup and how they've performed. And eventually, if there is a match against Australia and a World 11 team, I'd definitely pay to watch that game. I think that will be something amazing. So I'd go with the batting order. I'd like to open with Smriti Mandana, of course. She had a wonderful World Cup, and a left-hander on the top of the innings is always amazing. With her, I would like her to partner with Laura Wolford. I think she had a spectacular World Cup, and the only game she failed is where South Africa lost in the semi-finals. So it kind of shows how much of a key she holds in team success. Number three is my buddy Haley Matthews. She was great too, with both ball and bat in her hand and fielding the kind of catches she's taken in slips, which was amazing, and it was so good to watch her in prime form. Number four is my captain of the team, Nat Siver. She almost kind of got England so close in the finals, even in the first game when they were chasing 300 runs. And with the ball and bat, again, an all rounder who's genuine all rounder. So unlucky that her 140 odd runs went in vain, because on any other given day that would have been a match winning knock. So number five is Harmanpreet Kaur. Wasn't she absolutely amazing in the World Cup this time? She scored in all the games at 100 against West Indies and half centuries. I think it was so good to watch her on the field, even with her fielding efforts. And a bit of bowling, which she did in against South Africa in the last league game. She kind of got India into the contest. So that would be my top five. Number six would be Sofia Dunkley. Um, Someone who's very unorthodox. I kind of feel like someone, she looks very unorthodox, and you kind of wonder from where she gets runs. But eventually, in that lower order, she's got runs for England, and she's one of the key person who got England to that final stages. So number seven is my wicketkeeper Amy Jones. She did have a decent outing, but an amazing wicketkeeper herself. Number eight is Marizon Kapp. I think she herself has had a wonderful World Cup, and amazing. So good to see her do what she did with both ball and bat. Number nine is Sophie Eccleston, highest wicket taker in the World Cup. Amazing left arm spinner, and so good to see such a young selection. I think she's about 21 or something, and I have quite a few youngsters in the squad. 21 years old with Laura and Haley Matthews. Number 10 is Shabnam Ismail. Uh, fast, quick, fearful, fast bowler who did so well. So combination of Marazan and Ismail is something which I don't want to break. Along with Ayabonga Kaka, I think those are my three paces who would take on Australia, and this is my 11. I feel to an extent they would give competition to the Australian squad. To beat them, it'll still be difficult, but I feel like this is a very good squad to give them a run for the money.
All right. So, do you think finally that 11 of yours will beat the Aussies who won the World Cup? And if so, who's going to be the star performer?
Well, I don't know whether they'll be able to beat or not, but it is going to be a very good contest. Like I said at the beginning, I would definitely pay, and if there's nothing happening, if there's no matches that I'm playing, and this match happen, I'd love to travel and watch this game live, because I think this is something which is going to be clearly amazing for people to watch. And imagine a dominant Australian squad, which will have a slighter advantage because they play together and they know each other really well. For a new squad from different countries to come together and pull out a performance is something very difficult, but each one of them are match winners of their respective teams. So put together, I'd love to see how they go about their business. Plus, at the same time, the kind of form the Australian team is have, I do not want to dare to say that any team would or could beat them at this point, but definitely this team I feel will give them run for their money. They would make them think twice.
Right, so let's just, of course, feature those two 11s. Hypothetically, of course, Veda is on the left. And as you can see, the Australians have been 7-time champions, which is just brilliant to see.